Hello besties, welcome back to my channel. Javell here. Today I have my spring TBR. I was gonna say April TBR, but I feel like it's spring, so I'm gonna add a little spice to it, okay? So I'm gonna say my spring TBR because I might not read all these books in the month of April, so if it falls over into May, it's still spring, so it's okay. We're giving ourselves a little bit of grace. But I have a kind of a huge collection here of books that I want to read. TBR literally means to be read, and I wanted to share what I'm reading or currently reading or going to read with you guys. So if you guys want to read with me, or if you already read some of these books, please leave a comment below and let me know if you liked them or if you hated them. What are your thoughts? But my name is Javell. I make book related content and I also make lifestyle content, and it's all really good and fun. So if you've never seen my face before, you should definitely subscribe to see my videos, okay? Because they're really good and we have a good time over here. But I want to share my TBR with you guys, so without further ado, this intro is all over the place. Let's get into the video. So it's officially spring, and all of a sudden I can feel my personality re-entering my body, and so here I am filming my spring TBR video. If you don't know what TBR means, it means to be read. So basically any book that you haven't read yet but you're going to read or you plan on reading, you can add it to your little TBR. So here's my spring TBR. I'm going to start with one of my favorite books, actually my favorite series, and it is Twisted Lies by Anna Hong. This is book 4 in the Twisted series. This series can be read as standalones, but I've been reading them together, and I feel like you just get a much more, like a better experience reading them together because you see characters from the other books in the next book, and I don't know, it just goes along very well and I really like it. So this one is book 4 and it's the last book in the series, so I'm very excited to actually complete the series because I've been reading it for a while, and this one is a little thick. She's a big book, but this story is about Christian Harper, which we've been hearing about Christian Harper since book 1, but we actually get his love story in here. And Christian Harper is like I think he does like secret service situations. He does something like he's really undercover, and so it's about Christian Harper, and he is, I'll just read the synopsis. Christian Harper is a monster dressed in the perfectly tailored suits of a gentleman. He has little use for morals and even less use for love, but he can't deny the strange pull he feels towards the woman living in one floor below him. She's the object of his darkest desires, the only puzzle he can't solve, and when the opportunity to get closer to her arises, he breaks his own rules to offer her a deal she can't refuse. It's giving billionaire romance. And these books are really spicy, so if you like spicy books, I definitely recommend the Twisted series in general. I don't know, but I'm really excited, and the cover of these are so freaking pretty. And then I also have Loath to Love You by Ali Hazelwood on here, and I love Ali Hazelwood because she does books for a woman in STEM, and this book is actually a collection of like 3 different stories. So we get Under One Roof, Stuck With You, and then Below Zero, and also has an exclusive chapter in here, so I'm really excited to read this. These covers are definitely giving spring vibes with how beautiful they are. And then the next book I have on my TBR list is The Wisteria Society of Lady Scrungles, and this book kind of just gives me Bridgerton vibes, which is why I really got it, because I'm obsessed with Bridgerton. If you've never seen Bridgerton on Netflix, please go watch it. But this gives me Bridgerton vibes, and it looks like this. The cover is so freaking pretty. This one is about the prim and proper lady thief must save her aunt from a crazed pirate and his dangerously charming henchman in the fantastical historical romance. And it's about a Victorian lady who's also a thief, and like any other member of the Wisteria crime society, she flies around England drinking tea and blackmailing friends and acquiring treasures by interesting means. Sure, she has a dark and traumatic past and an overbearing aunt, but all things considered, it's a pleasant existence until the men show up. This sounds so good. I've been not putting it off, I've just had too many books to read, but I'm really excited to read this coming spring, especially because I feel like the new Bridgerton might be coming out too. So then the next book I have on here is The Next Flame by Penelope Douglas, and I do really love her writing, but this is a part of a series and I didn't know before I bought it, so I had to go back and buy the first book so I can kind of like catch up on the series. But I just read the first book and I didn't really like it that much, but I'm still gonna attempt to read this because I think the dynamics in this one's gonna be a little bit different. But this book is about Tate Brand, and she is with Jared, and I remember in like the first book he was a little bit mean to her and they had like childhood beef, but now they're together in this book. At least I think they're together. I know they got together in the other books, so we don't really know what's going on. But it's about Tate, and she finally have everything she wants now. All through high school, Jared called the shots. He decided if she would be happy or sad, fearful or free. He owned her heart, and he played with it like one of his cars. They're both like car people. Ever since Jared left town, Tate's life is exactly where she wants it to be, or that's what she tells herself, because 2 years ago, her heart also stopped beating, and there's only one way she can feel the same rush in her blood: Friday nights on the track. So that's kind of what the synopsis is about, or the book is about. I don't really know what's going on, but I'm really excited to read this as well. And that is The Next Flame by Penelope Douglas. I do love her books though. The dynamics are always a little bit weird, but they're still enjoyable. Another book I have on my TBR list is The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead, and this one is also a Prime like show, I think, or like, yeah, it's a series on Prime, which I'm really excited to watch after I finish reading this book. But it's about a teenage, or like a girl, a young slave, and she decides to run away like with another slave that she met from Virginia, and now they're both doing like the Underground Railroad, but instead of it like the Underground Railroad being like a metaphor to like an actual like transportation for slave runaways. And so I'm really excited to read this because I love reading female slave narratives, even though this is like not real, but like, I don't know, it just sounds very interesting. And I love a good history book, so. And it's also the winner of a Pulitzer Prize, period. Then I also have a thriller on my TBR. Are we surprised here? I love a good thriller or murder mystery. But this one is called The Lies I Tell by Julie Clark, and it looks like this. It is about a like scam artist. She goes by Maggie or Meg, Melody. She has different names, but it's the same person depending on the town, depending on the job. She's a con artist who raises herself to become whoever you need her to be. A college student, a life coach, a real estate agent, but nothing about her is real. She slides alongside you and tell you exactly what you want to hear. And by the time she's done, you've likely lost everything. That's The Lies I Tell by Julie Clark. It looks really, really good. I love a good thriller, and I'm excited to read it. Also on my TBR list, I have a fantasy book, which I'm not like the biggest fantasy girl. I only read romance, contemporary romance, or thrillers, or murder mysteries. Fantasy is like not my thing, but I've been trying to expand my horizons and step out of my comfort zone with reading, and so I thought I got the Shatter Me series. And actually I got the first book from the Shatter Me series, and I think there's like 4 other books. It's a lot of other books after this one, but I'm really excited to read this. But basically it's about Juliet, and her touch is fatal, and the reestablishment has plans for her, plans to use her as a weapon. But Juliet has plans of her own. After a lifetime without freedom, she's finally discovering a strength to fight back for the very first time and to find a future with the boy she thought she lost forever. This just sounds really good. It's not like a really thick book, which I appreciate. So I'm really excited to read the Shatter Me series and see if it lives up to the hype, because I know this was like a really popular book like last year, maybe the year before on Booktok. So I'm excited to get into it and see if this is going to open my eyes to fantasy books. Then I also have on my TBR to read the first book in the Bayou series, and it's called The Chase, and this is by Elle Kennedy. I love a good college hockey romance, and this is exactly what it is. It's very spicy, or at least like all those college romance books are usually spicy. And it's about a girl who, like, I think her brother best friends like her, and she's also like their roommate, and you know, she doesn't really want to like go out there and get the guy. She's like waiting for the guy to come to her, and I don't know, I just feel like it's going to be a lot of like games between them, and it's gonna be so fun. That's my TBR for April, and I'm really excited because the weather is warmer. Now I can go to the park and romanticize my life and read in the park, you know, just read anywhere outside that's not my room because it's been so cold. I'm very excited for that, and I'm very excited to read these books. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more. Also leave a comment below of like what book you're excited to read this spring, and also let me know if you've read any of these books. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, your opinions. Definitely give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Ooh, I'm gonna pull up study to the side. She keep coming at me every day and night. When I left in my life started feeling right.